Hey, what's up everybody? Back at you today. We got a lower body workout. I'm Dr. Brandon, this Dr. James. We are My Performance Docs. So we're gonna jump right in. We got 15 minutes here. We got a little warm up. We got 10 minutes of workout, a little cool down at the end. Dr. James is gonna do this workout for us. So again, lower body leg day. All right, so here we go. We're gonna get started here. First 60 seconds. We're gonna do a little bit of a leg swing, forward and backwards. Just getting that hip warmed up. Little flexion, a little bit of extension. Notice here Dr. James holding on to the wall for a little bit of balance. Don't make this a balance exercise, okay? Even if your balance is good, you feel like it's fantastic, and you don't need anything to hold on to, not the purpose in this one, okay? We've thrown out some balance stuff. We'll get to more in the future here, but don't make this one about balance, right? Like we talked about before, stance leg over there, it's getting some work too. Main thing we're doing is just swinging this right one back and forth, just trying to warm it up. Not necessarily trying to see how far you can go backwards or how far you can go forward. Kind of like a little bit of a pendulum there. Pendulum on a clock, if you will. Yeah, feel your hip getting warmed up?
Yeah, it feels nice and warm.
Nice and warm.
Yeah.
Not as cold as out here as it has been, so I don't know,
True.
That's kind of nice. Hey, big shout out to Middle Georgia Elite Fast Pitch. We got our first tournament this weekend. Woo woo.
There we go, gonna get the victory.
All right, there's 60, swapping sides here. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna get the victory.
The four and under Pirates might have a scrimmage game this Saturday too, so look out. We're on T-ball coming hard. Go Pirates. Arr.
If we were on ESPN, what ESPN would that be? Like ESPN 22? Like way down the list?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
Me and my daughter were out here throwing some softballs earlier. So yeah, we're getting ready. We're getting pumped. We're excited. All right, so same thing here on this side. Just a nice steady swing. Don't worry so much about how far you go. Just swinging it, just warming up. Definitely got to warm up the hips really good. I'd say most of the movements that we picked today are going to be a little more geared towards the hips than they are anything else, but we got to sit the stand in there somewhere. We got some calf raises, so there's the ankle movement there. All right, we're almost there. All right, there's our second minute, so now we're into some step overs here. Just think about if you had a fence, you had a baby gate, you had a doggy gate. If you like to hunt or you go out in the woods hiking, you got to step over a log. Here we go.
I lost my balance there.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we're on a mat there, so we got some bridges here coming up, so that's why the mat's down. If you're at home, you're on something soft, something squishy, definitely be careful. If you feel like that you're in the slightest unsteady, go to more of a firm surface for these. You can always use a softer surface when you get to the bridge part. We've had bridges in a previous workout. We mentioned that you can do them off the couch, you can do them off the bed as well, if you have some trouble getting down on the floor and getting back up. Bridges can be done on a firm surface too, but I think a little more comfortable if it's got a little cushion.
Yeah. And don't forget, like our video, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Tell your friends, that's right. Yep, hit that like button, smash it.
Smash it.
All right, there we go. There's our last warm-up exercise. Dr. James getting down to do some bridges here. All right, so pushing mainly through his heels. You don't necessarily have to have the front of your foot up or the toes up. Depends on what you like. I would say, now this is me speaking personally, if I'm digging in with my heels and I've got my toes up, I feel a little bit more hamstring activation than I do if I let my whole foot stay in contact, right? Probably a little bit of an argument here, maybe a debate, but pushing with the forefoot and toe, probably activate quad a little more. You dig in with your heels, you can get a little bit more kind of posterior chain, glute, hamstring activation. But just nice and slow, lifting up, make sure you got good control on the way down. We mentioned in a previous video, I kind of touched on it, the two different types of muscle contraction, the shortening version, the lengthening version, concentric and eccentric. They're both important, so make sure you control up and control on the way back down here. All right, we're getting there, got about 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and there's time. So now we're going into a straight leg raise here. Straight leg raise abduction. Straight leg raise could be used to describe a lot of different things. It really depends on how you're facing, the direction of the leg motion. In this case, working glute medius and minimus on the side of the hip. Talked about that in a previous video. That muscle is really important for not only moving the leg this way, but functionally keeping our pelvis level when we're walking or running, or even if we're in a single leg stance position, which happens briefly during a walk or a run. Notice here that his leg is straight, his knees locked out, and I think probably most important thing, keep your toe facing forward, and notice he's directly on his left hip, okay? So right hip's facing up towards the ceiling. Biggest thing that we see sometimes in the clinic, patients end up rolling back towards their backside some. Usually happens if the glutes are a little bit weak. All right, almost there on this side, full 60 seconds, and then we're switching over to the other. Boom, here we go.
And in talking about this hip abduction motion and this gluteus medius activation, there was an interesting clinical commentary. I probably read it a year and a half, 2 years ago, but it said that if you have low back pain and your plan for your back pain doesn't include strengthening the hip abductors, you're probably missing a little bit of an opportunity for improvement there. So, valuable movement, valuable muscle, as Dr. Brandon was saying.
Definitely. I think it's one of those muscles that probably easily gets used to working functionally. So when we use it in an open chain manner like this, it definitely is a good bit tougher. I certainly can attest to feeling a good burn in those muscles when I've done it before and isolated them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, almost there. We got 3 more seconds. Then we're gonna be standing for this next one. No, on our knees, donkey kicks. All right, from the knees here, doing some donkey kicks. So notice here, he's got a nice flat back. He's got abs engaged there, wrist right up under the shoulders for good stability in that quadruped position. And then from there, knee is not fully straightening out through this whole range, but it's staying flexed a little bit. And so we're moving primarily through the hip, getting some glute maximus here instead of glute medius minimus on the side. Definitely an important muscle. We use it a ton. Use it every time that you stand up. And let's think about the first thing that you do in the mornings after you wake up. You got to the edge of the bed, and then what do? You stand up, right? You go walking around. Certainly we use it when we're walking, but using it to stand up. Stand up from the car, stand up from any chair, any surface that you sit on. Very important muscle here. All right, almost there, 5 more seconds, and we're switching sides here. So full 60 on each side.
And don't forget, me doing this, I'm gonna be ready for bikini season in a couple of months.
Oh gosh, y'all watch out. Follow us. I'll see if I can get you some insider information as what beach he's going to. You can avoid that one. He's wearing a bikini.
Yeah, following this up with the bridges, there's a little bit of double whammy for the glutes. You know, so I say glutes, specifically glute max, but with that abduction hitting the gluteus medius as well too. Like my hips are sore. Spicy. Yeah.
And make sure too here, working back muscles a little bit more for stability. So keep your core tight so that when your hip extends, you're not also extending at the back at the same time. You're not arching the back, okay? Keeping it flat, keeping it straight. All right, almost there. All right, there's time. All right, so now we're coming up to standing, moving into some sit to stands, right? So big picture here, we warmed up muscles, we warmed up joints, we isolated some muscles, glute max, glute medius, glute minimus, and now we're putting them to use with a functional movement, and we're sitting down and standing back up, all right? Now a couple ways you could do this here. Dr. James is doing more so of like a tap or a box squat, okay? I'd say that's important because you're keeping the muscle loaded the entire time. If we get into some physiology, we start talking about strengthening, we can start talking about time under tension and load. And if we keep that muscle under tension for a certain amount of time, we can fatigue that muscle more. The more fatigue we create as your body recovers, the more strength we can create too, okay? Now, a slightly less intense version, sit all the way down, muscles relaxed, and then come all the way back up. That's certainly okay too. Yeah. All right, almost there, a couple more seconds. We're going into some kicks here. We're gonna find our inner Chuck Norris.
Same birthday.
Thank you.
Googled it. We do, March 10th.
Oh boy.
Chuck. I knew there was something special about me.
Watch out, you can't tell him anything now.
I know.
All right, here, be careful, balance again. If you need to hold on to something, perfectly fine. Countertop, piece of furniture. Maybe it's a couch, maybe it's a wall. Don't let this one be about balance, but if you can do it, certainly it's a little bit more challenging to balance on that other leg, that stance leg. So just some extra on this one. Make sure the kick's controlled, all right? You don't want to just lock that knee out, hyperextend it. So make sure you got good control on this one. What's that right hip feeling like? Feeling the glutes some?
Yeah. My legs feel, and this might be from the workout we did yesterday, but my legs feel sore.
Mine are a little sore. My hamstrings were a little sore. We didn't do anything super crazy. We did some back extensions. We did some deadlifts. We did some lunges. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, mine are a little sore too. Mostly hamstring. Yeah, good sore though. All right, so that was 60 on one side. Dr. James just swapped to the right. Got 60 here. Hang in there. This is our 8th minute on this workout. We got 2 more, and then we got a little cool down. Got a little stretch for you today.
Yeah.
This is the cool down part. I don't know how many people love stretching. Dr. James and I have actually had good debate on stretching in the past. It's good stuff. We'll save it for another video. Good debate. I won't call it an argument. We'll call it a debate. That's right, that's right. We like to call it mobility. Range of motion, not so much stretching. All right, keep on kicking. You almost conquered the bad guy. He's almost down.
He's been down.
He's been down.
Now I'm just scaring off his friends.
Boom. All right, now some heel raises. All right, so if you're on a soft surface, be careful. It's gonna challenge the balance a little bit more so coming up from tiptoes. Notice here, when he comes up, he's nice and controlled, controlling it on the way down. And if you find yourself just kind of rocking all over the place, go hold on to something. Another important muscle. We use this one every time we walk too, right? Using this one for a push off, propel us forward. Running, it's got to work a whole lot more. If you're a jumper, it's got to work a whole lot more too.
In another video, I mentioned the role of the gastrocnemius and the soleus, or the calf muscle, and helping to pump blood through the veins back up to the heart. So, very important.
Definitely good for some circulation in the legs. All right, we're almost there. A few more seconds. We got some sidestepping. So a few different ways you could do this. We're keeping it kind of short. We got to stay in a good camera angle here, but he's got a couple steps to one side, a couple back to the other. This could be, if you got a long hallway, you can go all the way down that hallway one direction, work your way back. That's fine too. It could also be just one step over, one step back. Up to you guys on that one, but try to keep moving the entire time. Make sure you're weight shifting really well. Make sure you're staying balanced here. Good functional movement. We do this in the clinic sometimes with patients for strengthening. I also use it for a little bit of balance work too. And sometimes patients are like, why am I walking sideways? I don't walk sideways anywhere.
Well, if you're walking down the grocery aisle and see somebody coming, you might step out of the way.
That's right.
There's several reasons why. All right, so now we got the...
Now we got a little toe touch. All right, so that was our full workout there, 10 minutes in the middle. That was the kind of the meat and potatoes of the workout, if you will. We got 2 minutes on the cool down here. So Dr. James got feet apart. You got some variability. Don't feel like you're trying to be a gymnast here and just do a split, but definitely spread them apart enough. And as he goes down, he's just reaching in towards the ankle, towards the top of the foot. Maybe you're reaching to the toe. Depends on how far you can go. If you haven't been over like this in a while, maybe you're just reaching to the knee. But essentially, at the bottom, we want you to feel a little bit of a stretch in your hamstring, okay? That's the purpose in this one. Try to get that loosened back up. Muscles can often get sore when we exercise them, build up of lactic acid in there. So doing a little bit of a cool down, whether it be a stretch, whether it be something a little more dynamic, maybe it's just walking real slow for a cool down, can help to loosen them up. Flush out a little bit of that lactic acid, help with some recovery. All right, so here, last movement, we're going in. We got 30 seconds each side on this one instead of the 60, but getting a little bit of calf stretch. So notice here, he's got his knee straight, he's got his heel down, and he's going far enough forward into that lean until he feels a stretch in his calf. All right, got 5 more seconds. You got 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching sides here. Important muscle to keep stretched out. It can often get tight. When it gets tight, it can actually change the mechanics of our ankle when we're walking, and that can be detrimental. So go in the stretch. If we're talking gastroc and soleus, like you mentioned earlier, get a little bit more of a gastroc stretch here because it crosses the knee. Soleus does not. Almost there, we got 5 seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, workout done. All right, if you're following along and you're done this workout, you've done them all, again, super proud of you guys. Keep it up. Hope you enjoyed this one too.
Absolutely, thank y'all.
Yep.